With all of the developments that had come through with the Trump-Xi phone call and the fact that I believe that they talked about rare earths, what was your takeaway? Were you encouraged by the developments?
Well, I'm certainly encouraged that two leaders from the largest economies in the world are talking about things like rare earths. This is a critical issue, not just for the United States, but for the world. China produces 100% of the heavy rare earths that we all need in the world today. We need that for Department of Defense applications. We need that for EVs. We need that for wind turbines. We need it for robotics. Any rare earth permanent magnet that needs a higher temperature needs to have the heavy rare earths, either dysprosium or terbium. There's one producer of that in the world today. And so that's why I make the comment that China holds all of the cards. In your chart you have up here, it's very interesting because we just used the term rare earths. But let's remember that there are 15 rare earth elements in the periodic table. And what we're talking about here are the heavy rare earths, really anything to the right-hand side of neodymium on that periodic table of elements. Nobody in the world produces those except China. We have to be able to work this out. We're talking about automobile production lines being shut down as early as next week because of the fact that they cannot get the heavy rare earth elements that they need to make the rare earth permanent magnets. This is becoming serious. We're talking about jobs. We're talking about moving our economies into better places. We have to have the rare earths to do that. China is the producer of those. Obviously, another solution is to bring additional resources online. My company is an example of that. We have all of our permits in hand. We're finishing up our project financing right now, but it takes 3 years to build out a project like this. So you don't snap your fingers and have these rare earths available. So we have a lot of work to do, and we need cooperation from China until we can get these additional supply chains built into the economy.
I'm reading here that President Trump is looking to invoke emergency powers and slash some legal requirements under the Defense Production Act to boost production of critical minerals and related high-tech weapons. What would that do?
You know, it mostly revolves around the permitting issues that most mining companies face in the United States today. There was a report that came out earlier this year by S&P Global indicating how long it takes to get the required permits in the United States to open up a new mining project. That was 29 years. We can't take 29 years to get these projects done. And that's where I think President Trump's actions will make these projects come online sooner. It doesn't mean they're going to be any less environmentally sound. It doesn't mean they're going to harm the environment. What it means is we need to get these projects up and running. Time is of the essence right now.
We're hearing from many of the EV makers, auto companies that are crying for the supply of critical minerals, rare earths. Talk to us about the urgency of building domestic capacity. Where are we on the timeline for that? How long would it take for the U.S. to have domestic capacity?
It's a very good question and a very logical question, since we've got automobile manufacturing companies that are talking about shutting down production platforms as early as next week because they don't have the the rare earth permanent magnets that they need to put into their automobiles. So this is very critical. It's critical right now. Our project, I strongly believe, is one of the fastest projects that we can bring online. It would take us 3 years from the point of obtaining project financing to build the project out and to start producing the heavy rare earth materials. That is a fast time period. And so now what you have to talk about is, well, what do we do in between? Well, we need to figure out a way to get along with China so we can get those minerals, or we need to stockpile those materials. It's a little bit difficult to think about stockpiling these materials when there's only one seller of those materials. So I think stockpiling is a great idea, but it's probably not going to work in this situation because there's only one seller. So we've got to figure out how to cooperate with China and make sure we get these heavy rare earth minerals in particular during this time frame while we build out the supply chains in the United States. And let's not forget that China has been working very hard on their heavy rare earth industry for 50 plus years now. They've put trillions of dollars into these investments. We are not going to just snap our fingers and have these supply chains rebuilt in the United States. It takes time, it takes a lot of commitment, it takes a lot of capital to get this done. But it can be done. We have the people to do it, we have the resources to do it. We have to be committed as a country to make this happen.